Hi, this is Alexander, and I'm here with Kamil. And Kamil, he joined Business Mentor Insiders in January 2018. He runs a digital marketing agency, and he's focused on selling Google ads. So he's been in business for about a year and 5 months now, and he's doing around 5.8K in revenue monthly with an 80% profit margin. Welcome, Kamil. What are some other good news from your business this year?
The biggest really news for me is the stability. Like my income and everything is very stable. It's not as rough at the beginning when I was learning processes, other things from the BMI. Right now it's stable, it's sustainable, which is super important for me because 1 month being at 5K and the second month being at zero is not something I was looking for. So I'm super happy with this part, and also the processes. Everything starts going smoothly, which is super nice for me.
Also, on a personal note, I don't know if you want to share, but you're 34 right now, and what's happening?
Next month I'm getting married, so a huge step. We'll see how it goes further on. It was very funny to be able to run the business, go to make all the preparations for the wedding, and being sure that everything is working, people are doing their work, and I had the time to be there and not be like an employee who has to take the free time from the job and go somewhere to do the things. But everything was working, all the processes were working, people were doing all the stuff, and I could go and focus on the very important thing for me right now.
What you told me before, which was very interesting, is that last week you were working 2 hours a day while preparing for the wedding, and essentially your business was running fine.
Yeah, and it also was on a very bad internet connection. Like, it was so unstable. I was postponing most of the calls for this week because most of the people were saying like, we don't hear you. So even with such a crappy connection, I was able to have everything managed. Everything was working, and I had time to focus on other things.
Right now you're running a marketing agency, obviously. So how long has it been going well now? How long did it take you since you started for it to run well?
Everything really took off in the March. So at the end of the third month when I was in BMI, later on through the year, it was, ups and downs, stresses, problems with processes with people. But finally, in the fourth quarter of 2018, everything started working properly for me. Everything stabilized, the income and everything. So right now, we are delivering great results for clients, and I'm super happy that after all those, crazy months, later now, I know what will be my income next month. I know that I have clients who are staying with me nearly a year, and everyone is happy.
And another thing that's interesting that you've told me is this is not your first business. This is your second business. Can you tell me about your first business?
Previously, I was running for 6 years. We can call it another agency, but it was a different type of an agency. We were importing electronics from China and selling them to businesses with their logo, other things. So it was a much different type of business. It was with an office. Employees who are on a paycheck, who are sitting at computers. You had loans, you had machines for printing, everything. And I had a business partner who didn't really work out for me the best way. After 6 years, I saw there is no future for me in this business. So I left that company. It was a little bit sad, when you're investing 6 years into something. And later on, through my friend, I got introduced to BMI, and this is how I switched to this business. And yeah, it works much better for me.
So what are some differences? So before it was basically an import business. Like, what is the difference between running that and running a service marketing agency? What are some differences?
One of the biggest differences are the costs. So here I can manage really all the costs that are involved in running the agency. I can spend more, I can spend less, I can decide how much I will be spending on the business. With the previous business, you didn't have so much control over it because you had so much overhead, like office, loans for the machines. Machines are breaking. Think about, because we were using printers, lasers, other things. Think about your printer. It costs $200 and it breaks, so you just buy another one. When you're talking about industrial printers, it costs $10,000, $20,000. and something breaks and you have to pop out $2,000 just to fix it. And in most cases, no one is really going to help you. They will just set up the machine for you. And later on, all the problems with the quality of the printing, like electrostatic, other things, your problem. So I was spending months trying to improve the quality of our work while you had a huge competition on prices, other things. And what was the worst? We are the two guys not knowing really what we were doing and trying and hoping for the best. And the money that were at the stake was different. Like, think about having an order for 500,000 euros and having to sign a contract with a very high risk. This is where I learned to panic a lot. From that business, I was panicking so much because so much money was on stake. With the current business, the agency running AdWords, the stakes are lower. The revenue is much higher. I don't have to compete on prices. That was really what I was hating with the previous company. Think about it. Someone is cheaper than you by 10 cents, and you lose the client. Stupid. That was the market, really. And I hated it. Well, the biggest problem was also that we didn't know what we were doing. Not only, from I don't want to say about the contracts, other things, but also how to import stuff, all the regulations, and the government was working in a way that you do something, and later on they say, oh, you should know about it. So this is a fine, and the fine is like 15,000 euros pay, and you have to pop out 15K. So yeah, that was a much different business. I have a lot of experience from it, but I wouldn't like to go into such agency once again, because you're not really competing with some other people like you. You're also competing with the brands that have like a half of the Europe, and they can really cut on costs on a new market when they are entering, and you're too small to fight back. So at the end of the day, you're fighting for scraps, really. That was the biggest problem for me. I wasn't growing. I was trying to sustain myself at a very low level.
I can imagine there were some profit margin issues as well, since it was, import business and a lot of expenses. What were the profit margins like in good months?
It could be around 15%, but I saw orders where we are doing an order for 1,000 euros, and we had from it like 30 euros. 30 euros of profit on something when you have to import it from the half of the world, print other things, take the risk. Like, it could get south really for you, and for 30 euros, like, it's stupid.
When you joined, we basically recommended that the agency is going to work better for you, and then after 3 months, you proved us right in that situation. So what happened there? Like, how come you were able to build profitable business after 3 months of running the agency? Like, what are some things that you did?
Because my biggest problem was that I was overthinking and trying multiple things. I'm the type that loves to read, to learn, and have problems with the implementation. And you were smashing into me, Kamil, just do it, just do it, just do it. And after 3 months of me trying to implement, it started working for me. Like, it was funny that, because, normally in the world, you try something and after a few tries, you're discouraged. You think, it doesn't work. But in BMI, I was trying to do it. It didn't work for me, but I saw so many people around me having results. So it was very difficult for me to get discouraged. And after 3 months, I got my first sale. And after getting the sale, I invited my fiancée to a restaurant. And we were sitting in the restaurant sipping wine. And I was really like sitting, and I was thinking, like, it works. It really works. And I was like sitting there for 2 hours drinking this wine and thinking, like, it works. Because one thing is to see, to try, but to experience closing high ticket with very high margin, it was like, wow, it really works.
What are some lessons that you've learned since then? So you've been running this business now for 1 year and 5 months. What are some lessons that you've learned that are valuable to people watching this video?
Control on everything. What I'm saying by control is, let's say that you ask someone, could you buy me groceries? If you say something like this to your employee or to your client, you can expect anything. What I'm trying to say, let's say, for example, you want your client to approve copy, design, or something. When you say, please approve it, they can destroy your revenue because they will be telling you how to write the copy, how to do other things. You have to precisely tell them what's the outcome you're asking them to do. So Alex, if I ask you to approve copy, I'm asking if it will be in correlation to your brand. I'm the copywriter. You are not allowed to touch anything outside of it. What is the outcome of such a higher level of control? How quickly you can iterate on projects, how well they are working for you, and also you can balance how much you have to work on it. Because while clients have a lot of ideas, you are the person who have experience, or your copywriter. When you allow them to push you and to implement their suggestions, in many cases you'll be just sitting there for 10 hours a day and trying to do it. The same story with outsourcers. If you tell them, please do your magic, and you don't tell them what's the outcomes, you once again will be surprised. They'll spend too much time, they'll charge you for this time, and you don't know what you'll get. It's like the same, like, please pack this package for me. If you don't say how it should look like at the end, you don't know what to expect.
What has allowed you to create a business where you can kind of disappear for a week or barely be available with bad internet and things still work? Like, how come they're still able to run the business, your guys?
First of, the most important thing is that we have the processes, what has to be done every day, every week, and people do follow. So if you have a new person, you have to introduce them into the systems, and after a few weeks, they are really able to do them. So I wouldn't say that I can just disappear for a month, but right now I can disappear for a week and be available only 1 hour per day, and it works. And it's something I was struggling to have in my previous company, because believe me, it was a hell. It was a hell where you also had to be available on Sunday and Saturday with the printing machine, something getting broken. It was a nightmare.
What's the difference for you? What has been the difference for you between running a business solo or with a business partner versus being part of like a larger community where you have people around you that are doing the same thing and are, that you can learn from because you're making more money, they're running a bigger business. What's the difference between doing it solo versus in a community like that?
First of all, it's very difficult, especially for me, to get discouraged, because even if you are low, nothing is working for you. You have so much proof around you that it's working. You can just reach out to people who will just say, hey, Kamil, it's simple, just do this. While when you're alone and you get all the mails from tax collectors, complaints from clients, and you're alone, you have so many thoughts in your head, and you just want to throw everything away. With the BMI, with the group, it's very hard to get discouraged. You get all those proof around you. You can really ask all the questions. You'll get answers from people who tried it, who know what will work for you. And it's a little bit different even from the books, because a book isn't able to talk back to you. You can't really ask more precise questions. And as you know, every book gets outdated after a few months. Maybe not all the books, but technical, really down to precise situations, because Google is also changing all the time. There is no other way. If you don't have access to people who are doing it on daily basis and trying it, it will be difficult to be up to date with all the things. But with the group, it's hard to get discouraged. You get answers to all your questions, and you get motivated. Plus, I can meet with other guys and sit together, which is also quite motivating.
Okay, and what are some lessons in your business that you've learned other than this? What has allowed you to really stabilize the business where you're happy with how it's running every month, where people aren't leaving, where clients are staying? What are some things you've learned in that respect?
I tried, Alex, to employ the best of the best with AdWords. And at that time, I didn't really realize what BMI was saying about employing based on motivation and if the people really want to work. And I saw that with some very advanced people you want to employ, they don't really care about clients' businesses. They just want to do their work and rush to another work. So when I changed my approach to really, okay, fine, still they have to have skills, but when you're looking for the motivation and that your employees are really focusing on clients' businesses, that was the moment when I saw that I have time to do other things and be reassured that work is being done, and they are putting extra effort to get results for the clients. Because I thought, okay, I just get the best guys, and I don't care about their motivation, and it it bites me. It was a big difference. You have to employ based on motivation. Without the motivation, the best skills won't make a difference, because they won't give you the best skills. They will give you what they think about, they'll give you 1 hour of their time, and who will get the best results, best ideas when they only invest 1 hour of their time? You always have to look for the motivated people.
And how much of the work are you currently doing yourself in your business?
I would say around 2 hours. That's the minimum amount of time I need to implement, to do in the work, but I'm doing much more because I'm trying to scale it to have other funnels of acquiring clients. I would like to also extend the services I'm providing. So 2 is a minimum that I need to do, but I'm around 8 hours per day.
Yeah, but in terms of delivery, right? So in terms of delivery, how much of the work do you do yourself in terms of actually delivering the service?
At the beginning of the project, I'm working around 3 hours as a guidance for my VAs, but later on it's none, because they are doing. I'm just having a weekly call with them and brainstorming together. I also have dashboards with all the KPIs from the campaigns and everything, so I can jump in if I see that there are some problems. Like, for example, we had a great campaigns for 3 months, and later on it started declining. That's the moment I have to get into the project and not wait for the client to say, hey, Kamil, everything stopped working. So if I'm able to react faster than the client, everything is fine.
You're working a lot on your business instead of in your business right now, because your guys are really good, and delivery, once the retainer clients, once the project starts working well, you don't have to constantly be there for every project. You have your guys take care of that. True. So you can focus on new business development, you can focus on new funnels and so on. Who should be interested in this type of business? Because it's obviously not for everyone. Like you're a smart guy, you've been in business before, you're also developer, I believe. What are some qualifications for this type of business?
This is the moment when we have to be quite harsh. So if you are lazy, if you think that it will be super easy for you, that Alex will be very kind to you and he won't be pushing you really hard. Because Alex, we are right now talking together very nicely, but any kind of conversation with a real client, like a corporate client or people from China, when you try to income, it's rough. It's really rough. If you don't if you just think that everything will be nice, it will be funny, you won't be need to work. Like Alex will give you money directly to your bank account or something without you having to work. It's not for you. But if you think that you can sit down, follow the process, don't panic or get through the panic attacks like me myself, and just follow through like nothing else matters, it's for you. If you think it's better to relax and sit in my job, it's not for you.
And what about for the business that you're running, right? So who should be running a type of business that you're running?
Everyone who knows how to present business in the internet can think about processes, isn't only thinking, oh, someone will tell me what to do. No, if you can think for yourself, you can create processes for people to follow. This is for you. If you like to be guided all the time, I'm not telling about guidance from Alex or from BMI, but guidance like you go to your work every day and someone tells you what to do. If you are the person who can create the structure of the day for themselves, create processes for other people to do so you can delegate the work, this is for you. You have to have the mindset that you are the one who is controlling the situation. You are telling everyone, also including clients really, what to do, how it will work, what outcomes they can expect. This is for you.
So you also improved some things in your life in terms of health. What did you improve to become more healthy? Because before you had some not very big issues, but you had some issues basically, right? You had some issues with some coffee and stuff like that. What are some things that you've improved?
I removed coffee from my daily routine, and as you, I also track my heart rate and other things. And after 3 weeks, I saw that my heart rate dropped by 3 beats. That was quite surprising. And why we started talking about the coffee issues, it was because of my panic attacks and all the things. And you told me what to do to reduce them. So finally we agreed on having more exercise, especially exercising for 30 minutes with 130 beats of heart, removing caffeine, sleeping even more. Sounds stupid or very simple, but it was quite interesting to see the difference. And later on, I also improved what I was eating. It was funny how much you have to remember you have the body, and the body can influence your decisions, how you behave. Without it, it would be much more difficult to, have a very clear mind and remember what you want to do and how you want to do it. And when I was meeting you and other guys in Barcelona, we were sitting at the table, 30 guys, no one drinking alcohol. No one. It was also like surprising. Maybe not surprising because I knew about it, but it was like, look, what you have to do to have a very well working brain without any all those panicking emotions. That was also something I learned outside of the business. I mean, in BMI, was also how to run your own body, everything to be more productive. Where productivity for me means that I don't have to be influenced by all those emotions from my body. I know that for you, you are always like asking like, Kamil, what emotions? We work differently. You told me like I have problems with caffeine, and I started implementing what you said, and yeah, it was a difference.
Yeah, I remember your voice became calmer and you weren't, let's say, as jittery all of a sudden, really, after quitting caffeine. And the rest, you also quit alcohol, yeah?
Yeah.
Completely, or?
I would say 1/4 of a glass of wine here and there. I don't really even want to.
The only person in Poland who doesn't drink is here, guys. This is him. This is incredible. All right. Well, that's good to hear. And congratulations on the upcoming marriage. So thank you very much for sharing. And everyone else, if you like more free videos about marketing, sales, and entrepreneurship, and interviews with guys like Kamil here, then please subscribe and come back next time. And I'll see you in the next video. And thank you very much, Kamil.